Good morning, I'm Céline Barbier from Qualitropic. I'm one of the 5 clusters that is constituting the peak, and the presentation was just a little bit separated, just as we are geographically speaking. That's why I wanted to ask a question to some of you. Do you know where Reunion Island is located? Can someone tell me what is the nearest country nearby?
Mauritius.
Yes, that's right. I heard Madagascar, that's the other big island. All right, so some people know us. Many people tend to think Reunion Island is in the Caribbean. So that's where we are, located in the Indian Ocean, that nowadays is really becoming strategic in terms of the population that surrounds the Indian Ocean, namely that is countries like India. You have Southeast Asia, Indonesia, and also some countries that are holding a lot of the mineral resources of this planet, namely South Africa and Australia. So for all these reasons, the Indian Ocean starts to attract the appetite of those large countries. Reunion Island is very small, isolated, but it has strong assets. Some of them are what we call structuring assets. That means because we are a French department as well as region, we have a very good infrastructure as well as also scientific-based knowledge. A lot of the big research institutes are represented in Reunion Island. We have also natural assets, and that most of all is biodiversity. The north is very rich in terms of, GDP or growth, but the south is very rich about plant natural resources. And the endemic species of Reunion Island, we find new species inland and also under the sea every day, and that is something that is a real asset for our island. And the last one is the demographic asset. That means Reunion Island is a very young population. Small territory where we try to have a certain number of challenges. One is to create value and job for all the people living on the island. Another one is to have food and energy sufficiency. And most of all, this biodiversity is very precious and we need to protect it. There's a lot of projects that we are being carrying that deal with environment protection or plant protection. Reunion Island also is known for its environment dedication. We have been named Reunion Green Island, and the challenges is being self-sufficient in terms of energy by 2030. It's the French department that has already 20% of its energy that is produced locally with sustainable means. Our objectives at Qualitropic is essentially to work on innovation in tropical natural resources in order to produce value both for Reunion Island and also to create some export potential, most of all in niche market. Given the size of our country and economy, we can only target niche high value market. Of course, respecting the challenges, environmental challenges, and as I mentioned, promote special products to our surrounding partners. That means mainly countries like Middle East or South Africa. How is the Qualitropic structure spread? It is 90 members today, out of which we have 60 that are company members, out of which you can see that 30 are in the agribusiness. So we are the only cluster out of the 5 peak cluster that is transversal. That means we are not only in plant, we'll see that later. That's why we have 30 in agribusiness. We have also cooperative that are producers. And we have scientists, that means a representative of all those research institutions that are based in mainland France. And also institutionals from which we get half of the funding. Half is made by the fees and contribution from our members, and half is state, European, and regional financing. I mentioned we are very transversal, and that's right. We have 3 domains, that means the sea, the vegetal one, and the animal domain. Here, of course, what's interesting for the pig is only the vegetal one. And the applications are multiple. We work a lot in health and nutrition, that have some of our projects as well as wellness, but also in energy and biomaterial. And I would like to add up here something that is really taking more and more of our project is biotechnologies. We have agreements with certain number of partners, of course PIC, but we also work with Pôle Mer, that means the marine clusters of France, as well as others like PAS, that is aroma and flavor, that is based in Grasse, and some other industrial and agribusiness clusters. We work internationally, and we have started to make some partnerships with South African based clusters as well as scientific institutions, in particular in the Cape province. And we have also made some partnership with Chinese institutions, namely the Beijing Pharma Biotech Center, with whom we signed an agreement last November, in particular in the plant biotechnologies and pharmaceutical applications. We have about 50 projects that have been labeled by the competitive cluster of Qualitropic that represents about 32 million euro of financing, out of which a third is public financing. And I will give very briefly to finish with the presentation 4 examples. One of them, called Optivanille, was a partnership between Reunion Island, University of Bordeaux, as well as Netherlands, just to show that we already have some international partnerships in our project. And that was to enhance the selection of the aromatic species of vanilla that we can encounter on the island. Run Innovation, which is one of a project on phytoremediation, that means depolluting the water through the bamboo endemic and indigenous species. That was quite a successful project for about 1.4 million euro. As well as Pentoval, one of our biggest projects, which is with ERCAN, that means the Sugarcane Research Institute, in partnership with a lot of, as you can see, research institute from mainland France. And that was to investigate some new valuation for the simple sugar that are found not only in sugarcane but also in beetroot and other plant species from mainland France. It was a big project of 4.5 million euros. And to finish with, Germandemic, which is one of our latest projects, which is to improve the germination rate of the plants, in particular our endemic plants, because we have endemic plants from Reunion Island, hundreds and hundreds, but we have very hard difficulty in having their germination mastered and controlled in order in particular to restore areas that have been, I would say, damaged by invasive foreign plants. So that's a very challenging type of project for the future. Thank you very much for your attention.